May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Once a year, the time is now, every 12 months, the roaming spotlight falls on Sulhamstead and Afton Nervet. The diocesan cycle of prayer includes each parish. And in January, I get an email from Church House asking me what particular aspect of our life we would like the good people of Berkshire, Buckinghamshire and Oxfordshire to commend to the attention of the Almighty. The simple request to be left alone always seems ungracious, so I generally manage to cast around for something that will show the world we're still alive. But this year, somehow, it seems different. The hopes and fears we have, the joys and sorrows, the minor triumphs and the small despairs, these belong to everyone, not just here, but in the whole diocese, the whole nation. We're in the same position as anyone else. And if we feel fortunate because our villages are well placed and well tended, well, doubtless other places have their compensations too. As a community, we don't seem to have too much to worry about. But life isn't worth living if you don't have something to worry about. What should we be doing? What's going on that we don't know about? What are we missing? Right on cue, the Bishop of Oxford has launched an initiative. Come and See, it's called. It comes from the beginning of St. John's Gospel, indeed the passage we've heard today. Andrew, one of the first disciples, Andrew had met Jesus for the first time and didn't really know what to say to him. And Jesus simply said, "Come and see." Nathanael was next to ask and next to receive the answer. Come and see. That was the way the project began. Jesus would spend the next 3 years tramping around Galilee with his disciples in tow. For 3 long years he preached and he teached. He taught and he brought. John the Baptist sent him a message, "Are you the real deal?" And Jesus responded with a simple order, "Go and tell John what you hear and see. The blind are receiving their sight. The lame are walking. The lepers are being cleansed. The deaf hear again. The dead are raised. And the poor have good news brought to them." It was what they'd heard and what they saw that persuaded them, not debates, arguments, and proofs. Come and see. We'd also read it in Isaiah several times in the past weeks. He prophesied that the whole world would one day pour into Jerusalem just because of the astonishing things that were going on. They'd want to be part of it. But the bishop doesn't just want us to quote scripture at people. He wants them to come in and see the things that are going on. And there's a challenge for us, if ever there was one. Especially in this time of COVID, because he means now, not when it all gets better. What might they see if they actually came in, if they called the bishop's bluff? Well, they can come to our building, to the churchyards. We can be confident of those. You can make a list for yourselves of the sights they offer to delight the eye and awaken the heart. We have our website, which Tony Holden curates so efficiently for us. We have the electronic offerings on it from me, which I worked quite hard at, but would welcome feedback all the time on whether it could be better targeted or better done. Jenny sends around her news sheet, keeps in touch with people, as do so many of you keep in touch. Elizabeth oversees the huge job of getting cards delivered around the parish. I think we look like people ready to engage with the world. The good news about the bishop's initiative is that the diocese is behind it and can provide resources. The bad news is that it's meant to start straight away now. It's an opportunity he's seen and he wants us to grasp it. And to be honest, I'm not sure I can see any excuse not to. Urging people to come and see is supposed to be part of what we do anyway. The thing, I suppose, that does worry me is what will people see, and what would it be that they needed to see? Jesus' great gift was in seeing what people needed in their lives and doing what he could to put things right for them. He met them where they were. As I quoted just now, it was largely to do with healing the sick and giving the poor a new direction. If we try to do that, if we set up a project to relieve poverty in our villages or do better than our GPs and hospitals in healing the sick, well, we'll very soon discover our limitations. Jesus himself never set up schemes. He just dealt with people one by one as they came to him. He didn't do it at a distance. He didn't do it with a broad brush. He didn't make plans to eliminate leprosy or improve the water supply in Jerusalem. No, he engaged with people one by one as they came to him, as they came to see him. "What did you come hoping to see?" he asked them once. "A reed shaking in the wind, someone in fine robes? Or was it a prophet you were looking for? Be careful what you ask, because you've landed with something much more than a prophet, with Jesus." And for me, there's the problem in asking people to come and see. What if they come and all they see is us? They can see us any day of the week just by going to Weller's. We look lovely lined up in our pews or giving out coffee in the parish room when we're allowed to do that. But is that what people need to see? "Sir, we would see Jesus," said some Greeks much later in the Gospel who came to see. Sir, we would see Jesus. Only the real thing would do. So do we reply to the bishop saying we're not up to the job? Well, hardly, because we're in the same position as every Christian has ever been. We can't produce Jesus for their inspection. And yet, on the other hand, perhaps we are the means by which they can encounter him. The means by which others can encounter him. But the means isn't obvious. How to do it? We've got to be both forward and self-effacing. It means simultaneously presenting ourselves ready to engage, but at the same time standing back, pointing them on, allowing them to see what's beyond us. That's our job here, pointing to what's beyond, witnessing to it, enabling it to be discovered. Nathanael went to see Jesus, and he was told, "You will see the angels ascending and descending on the Son of Man." Jesus as the place where heaven and earth come together. Be careful what you ask for. In a nutshell, it's here to our church that we go to know what we need to do. Jesus is present amongst us whenever 2 or 3 are gathered in his name, whenever the word is read, whenever the bread is broken and the wine is poured, whenever we look in our neighbours' faces for the eyes of Christ our friend. These are the things we do as church, whether in our building or online. And who knows, with us, through us, or even despite us, Christ is able to make himself known through the things we just normally do, by being just what we already are. Perhaps that's all that's necessary. So, do we write and tell the bishop that we'll join his initiative? We need to tell him this week. What do I do? tell me what you think. No, really, tell me. We'd need to have everyone on board for this.